Hello everyone, Mr. K here, talking about automotive specialty tools today. And there are just probably thousands of different specialty tools that are used in automotive and automotive maintenance. But I'm just going to talk about some of the most common ones today, or at least in my opinion, are the most common ones. And we'll roll right into them. So we're going to talk about common brake system tools, common engine system tools, and suspension system tools. All right. First thing on our list here is going to be a brake line flaring tool. This is used when you're replacing brake lines that are rusty and they've blown out. It is a much cheaper way to go because you can reuse your old fittings, but it's a little bit more work, I would argue, than going to Napa or Advance and just getting a new brake line that fits. But you can definitely save a lot of money with this. And you can probably get it done faster. You don't have to make a parts run. Go ahead and stop my video this time and watch this video, and you'll kind of see how it works. Okay, you should have just watched that video there at the bottom of the screen, that link. We're going to move on. Another really common tool is going to be a brake bleed pump or bleeder system pump or bleeder pump or whatever you want to call it. It's just a vacuum pump with a reservoir on it. And this is used to bleed your brakes if you don't have a partner or someone that's able to help you and sit in the vehicle and pump the pedal. At this point, go ahead and pause my video and watch that video. All right, you should have just watched that video on bleeding brakes. We're gonna roll on. Let's talk about timing lights. You don't really see these used much anymore. I'm gonna say probably about 95 and older vehicles are gonna call for these, call for you to use a timing light at some point in the tuning process or the maintenance process. This is just a device that hooks up to positive and negative on the battery, 12-volt battery for power, and then has a little sensor here that clips around the number one spark plug wire, and it senses when that wire has electricity going through it, and it shoots a real fast strobe light out that matches the timing of that number one spark plug wire. Okay, and that's used for timing an engine. Go ahead and pause my video and watch this one at this time. Okay, you should have just watched that video. Let's move on. Fuel pressure tester, fuel pump tester, whatever you want to call it. Okay. These are used in several scenarios, but I would say one of the most common ones is just if your car is just running rough and seems like it may be lacking power, maybe it's dying on the side of the road, and then it starts back up, and then it dies and it starts back up. Probably ought to check your fuel pressure. And it's going to look something like this picture on the right, typically. And it is a way to monitor the pressure that your fuel pump is putting out. And if it's putting out too little, then obviously your pump's probably going out. So go ahead and pause my video and watch this video at this time. All right, should have just watched that video. Moving on. All right, code readers and scanners. This is going to have to be a whole nother lecture in itself, and we could have days on this. I just want you to know today what a code reader or scanner is, what they do. Basically, when you have a check engine light on in your vehicle, and these are found as cheap as $3.50 on eBay for one of these. Okay, especially if you buy them in bulk. But let's say $5 at the cheapest if you're buying one. $5. Plug that into your OBD2 reader port in the base of your dashboard. Connect it to your phone with Bluetooth, and you can actually read what your check engine light means. Some of them allow you to monitor different things on the car while you're driving: air fuel ratio, spark timing, mass airflow sensor data, all kinds of neat stuff. Okay, so as cheap as $5, as high as 4,000 for a Snap-on Solus Ultra. Okay. Yeah, here's kind of a middle of the road one. It's not even middle of the road; it's kind of low end, but I'm going to argue that's probably about $20. And if it was me, if I had to just pick one of these to buy, I would actually get this one because it's simple, it's quick, you plug it in and go. These guys I've had a lot of issues with getting synced up to phones. All right, go ahead and pause my video and watch this video at this time. All right, suspension tools. And the first thing we're going to talk about is a ball joint press. These are used to obviously press in and out ball joints. You can also use them for universal joints or U-joints. I would not buy one of these if I were you. If you ever need one, I would just rent it from O'Reilly's or AutoZone because they rent them for free. But you're probably going to use them at some point. And you're probably going to use them at some point in this class. Looks like a huge C-clamp. How about a pickle fork, also called a tie rod separator? Okay, all it is just a big fork with an angled front there, and you just line this up and you pound it. You line it up between a joint that you're trying to get apart. And here's a joint that's already been separated, but if it wasn't, line it up in there and you pound the heck out of this thing, this tool. I mean, you hit this with a hammer back here as hard as you can, probably 40 times, and then eventually this, whatever it is you're trying to separate, will pop apart. Annoying tool, but cheap, and it does work. Okay. How about a brake lathe? Believe it or not, we actually have one of these in the classroom, and we'll use it at some point this year. We also have one of these. This one we have is not functioning currently. I'm going to work on it and see if we can get it going. But brake lathes are for if you've ever driven a vehicle and you apply the brake pedal and your foot vibrates a little bit or the brake pedal pulses. That is what you'd use a brake lathe to fix that. So when that pulses, that is a warpage of the disc, if it's disc brakes, or the drum if it's drum brakes. Okay, and these are the machines you'd use to fix that. Go ahead and watch this video at this time. All right, you should have just watched that video, so we're going to move on. That is everything I have for automotive specialty tools. Obviously, there are thousands more. This is just a brief overview of things that we're either going to do in the class this year and or just common ones that I think you need to know. So at this point, go ahead and complete your assignment on automotive specialty tools. Thank you and have a good day.